Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with another active day of news. I don't know how good it is for the markets or bad, but it is Wednesday, and we're at the 25th of October, 2023. And the time right now, I don't mind telling you, is just after 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Well, in a piece of good news that is lost, but with all the war news that we keep hearing and the House Speaker news, and I'll get to all this, is that the UAW's top negotiator, Mr. Browning and Mr. Fine from the UAW, are meeting face-to-face from Ford and from, obviously, the UAW, and they are hatching out whatever they can to make a deal. Now, if they get it done, that pretty well tells you what GM and Stellantis have to do. Have they done it? Not yet. There are more strikes brewing. You know, the hotel workers, I'm watching in Vegas what is going on. You have the big F1 event coming up in a couple of weeks now, right? What a time to strike. The city's going to be jammed. I don't know. It's a good timing if I'm the union. It's terrible if you're a spectator. I've learned when you go to these first events, it's a nightmare. It just is. Do you ever feel the vacuum cleaner when you put your hand to it and you're being sucked? Well, that's what's going on with the Israeli conflict around the world. It is just sucking the air out of all the rooms, okay? It is bringing everybody into problems. Look what's going on in the colleges. Look at the eruptions that are taking place, the hate that is brewing. Was it always there, or did this just bring it out? I don't know. Has that anti-Semitism been around this long? I don't know. I can tell you, I live in Chicago. It is not something I've seen, but that doesn't mean it's not right there happening, all right? And I'm not on a college campus, and I'm not in areas where that would happen. I don't know. It reminds me of Vietnam. And I lived through that when, you know, everybody was scared. It was an unpopular war. I had graduated college. I had gone to ROTC. You get your 15 minutes of life as a second lieutenant. You all know what I'm talking about there. Very dangerous, very bad times, and unpopular. The people that came home, they were never heroes per se. And that's wrong. They were heroes. Well, what's happened now is that same mentality is all over America. And it's scary. We then get to what's going on in the markets. You know, people are losing sight. This is earnings season. And we've already had near, 45%, 44% of the S&P 500 companies report, and most are a beat. You wouldn't know it by these markets. Good news, the House Speaker has been chosen. It took a while, but, you know, the forefathers gave us a way to do this, and it does get done. We may not always like the speed, but it's there. The Constitution's beautiful. Things get modified. These crazy rules the House put in should be thrown out. The members can throw them out, and they probably will before it's all said and done. But what does it mean for us as traders now? Well, it means that we have a head man that can, the word is can, talk to his party, and hopefully reach deals, or not reach a deal, but at least things are going to get passed by everybody. Passed doesn't mean passed in the sense that they're going to take place. Passed, in other words, bills get moved from Democrats to Republicans, back and forth, and what goes on. I already saw a letter in Bloomberg that Mr. Johnson has put out, and I know nothing about this gentleman, by the way, so I got a lot of reading to do on him. But where he says there may have to be stopgap bills in order to keep the government funded. November 17th, we're out of money again. Do you think everybody can get together on this quickly? The Senate bill is not what the hardcore Republicans wanted. We haven't lost, and keep this in mind, those people that got McCarthy out are still there. They're still banded together. Their demands on whatever bills are going to be passed don't go away. They came into the fold to get a House Speaker, and they should be applauded for that. At some point, this had to end. They made their point, and they're going to make it again. Don't lose sight of any of that. They're not going away all of a sudden. When you're taking a look at the gold market, you're trading this war. You're not trading gold per se. You're trading the war. Israel going to invade. The U.S. is being attacked in Syria and in Iraq. We had said, Antony Blinken had said, if we're attacked, we will defend ourselves aggressively. We're being attacked. Where's the aggressive defense? Are we not being told about it? I don't know, but I just heard how many more soldiers had to go into the hospitals from all the missile launches coming at them in these areas. Where's our defense? Why aren't we carrying that big stick? Why aren't we blowing these people out of the earth? It's really that simple. You get attacked, we are America. Do something about it. But the problem is, that sounds great, but what can of worms do you open as soon as you do that? And that's where the guys that are smarter than somebody like me, they have to think the whole thing through. Okay, but I'm probably a better analyst than they are in the markets. And in the markets, you're in a downtrend. So far, that October 4th low we're there, it's giving way. You got to be careful here. But as of October 26th in the S&P, just so you understand, and this is where the market is right now, there's a seasonal where if you bought then, you closed your eyes, and you got out, I'm blind here, it's December 2nd. For the past 16 years, that trade has produced profits. The caveat, past performance is absolutely no guarantee of future performance. In those 16 years, I'm not certain you had these war events, but I haven't looked at it to see it. But it's gone through a share of good, bad, and not. It's a seasonal tendency, and that's what you view it as. So we will see. All right, do I think Israel is going to just tell its soldiers to go home off the border? Hey guys, let's not invade. Well, we've done our damage. We've killed over 6,000 people. They got 1,400 of ours. We're leaving. I don't think so. And that's the problem that we're all dealing with. I don't know who thinks what, but I don't think so. So when you look at these markets, the pressure's on them because of this unknown, in large part. It is not down. These markets aren't down because of the corporate earnings. In the S&P, some 45% of the corporations have now reported or so. We're right in that range. As of today coming in, 81 or 82% had a beat. Meta had a big beat after the market. It doesn't matter. They go up and then the market's a vacuum cleaner. All the other events are pulling this market down with it. But like a rubber band, eventually that lets go, and these events have a way of dissipating, and maybe that's what the seasonal's talking about. In any case, one of the things I told you I didn't want to see happen, it's happening right as we talk. You got a bearish crossover where the 18-day average is getting underneath the 200. It's already doing its job. You're making new lows for the whole move. And that's what crossovers often do. If they cross over to the upside, you make a new high. Now, does it have to be for the whole darn move? No, but it is in this particular case. But it should be most recent lows get violated. That would have been these lows. We already violated. So each time you're making a lower and low, you're there. Where do you think the resistance is in the market? Let's put on our cap. Oh, once you say it's these two numbers together, that's your resistance point. So where's the support? I'll be a son of a gun, the Bollinger Bands. I want to repeat again. If you haven't armed yourself and understand them, why not take the time out and be a pro at it? You heard me, a pro. My course, which I'll run at the end of this and add on it, is going to teach you in the stocks, the ETFs, the spiders, and the futures how to work with Bollinger Bands, especially when you tie it together with the slow stochastic overbought, oversold, embedded, or flat. You're going to learn terms. The pros, what are they doing? They'll try selling the market or not. I don't think they're going to deploy new money when you're oversold, not when you're at a Bollinger Band. Does that mean that it can't go lower? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think they'll deploy new money in that market. When we come to the NASDAQ, oversold down to the Bollinger Band. Each time we've gotten here, even if you stayed with it a few days, you've had a snap. That's what you got to be careful of. And that snap might be where you want to sell. We'll talk about it as they occur. When we come to the Dow, the trend is down, oversold. So if you were to sit next to me right now and say, Ira, I want to sit with you, I want to learn trading for the day, I'd go, fine. Give me your check. Here's what I charge to do that. And away we go. And we'd be together, breakfast, lunch, dinner that day, and we'll go through everything, right? Do you think I'd be telling you you want to deploy new money when you're oversold in the market? That's a freebie for you. I certainly would not be. In the Russell, it's different, very different. You're embedded. So when you get the embedded reading where the slow stochastics lock that in, and again, that's in the Bollinger Band course, you're looking for the opportunities. There's a certain set of rules that I teach in there where you're trying to sell the rally. I'll leave it go with that. In the 10-year notes, so here's the market back down to oversold, coming down here. Now, you have to be very careful in the 10-year, the 5-year, all of them. Why? We get the next Wednesday, a week from today, and before the FOMC announcement at 1 o'clock that day, we get the Fed telling, the U.S. Treasury, Ms. Yellen and her little group, will come out and tell us how much money they need for their quarterly refunding. You do remember when she came out last quarter, and was it June or so that she did it? I forgot what exact month it came out. And she said, I need $1,100,000 or whatever. Interest rates just took off. And I started saying that the Fed doesn't have to do anything because the Treasury's doing everything that the Fed should do. In order for them to sell the money, since the Fed's not buying paper anymore, and foreigners have backed away en masse from buying U.S. paper. That's just fact. It's not my opinion. They got to find mutual funds, big investors, so on. And how do you get them? It's not hard to find them, but you got to be willing to pay. You got to give them the higher yields. Are we not up to 5% in the 10-year? You understand what I'm getting at? So you've got the short-term trend up, the bias down in an oversold market. That's rough. Oversold. Trend down, bias down, but still oversold. I'll let the next guy want to trade an oversold market. In the dollar index, if you're trying to buy the dollar or sell the dollar because of the Israeli conflict, you're sitting there with a gun going, what the heck? I can't make a buck. And you can't. If you think that's making money, you're doing something very unique and keep doing it, okay? But for 99% of the people that are trying to catch a trend out of this, it's not there. Don't try to make something out of nothing. Leave it alone. In the euro, you had your short covering, you got here, and guess who we're going to hear from tomorrow? That neat lady, and I mean that as a compliment. I love Miss Lagarde. I have been a fan of hers since she came on the scene. What was it, with the IMF? And she's just phenomenal. She speaks her mind. She's bright as can be. She knows what she's doing. We're going to hear from her in the morning. What are they going to do? Well, I am certain she's going to not raise interest rates. Doesn't mean I can't be wrong, but I am certain in that. I am certain she's going to keep it on the board that no, if we feel that we have to and we see inflation as being stubborn or rising again, we're going to have to raise rates. But we're looking at the economies. They have softened. Our CPIs are softening. Inflation is softening. Industrial production is in the toilet. We don't have to kill the economy. Let's see how the lag effect works. I have given you her speech, and I haven't even heard her speech, nor have you. In the British pound, you have a higher high and a lower low. There's nothing going on here. And they too are caught. Now we're going to hear from them shortly. What are they going to do in the market? We then get to Bitcoin. And today was the first day that I said in my morning updates, if I were in this trade, because I have told traders straight out, I said, if you're going to buy it, close your eyes. Did this about a week and a half ago in the updates. And I said, I think traders just going to buy it because the next step's got to be that the SEC approves some ETFs. Why? Because they didn't do the appeal. And when they let that fall through, all it could be now is, they don't like that you didn't cross your T or your I there. Come on. The courts will make them go. So they can only hold back so long, and the market's built in that these spot ETFs are coming. That's my belief. I could be so wrong on that, but I don't think I am. Then we look at Brent versus WTI. Now, notice I've swung over to the January contracts. And this is just the difference between the two. It's not a ratio. It's the difference of prices. And if Brent is stronger, it should pull on WTI. Normally, that's the way. And what we did is we're fighting a battle that doesn't get where you want it to go. It gets overbought, pulls back to the 18-day average, that line in the sand, and goes nowhere. What do you think you're doing in these crude, WTI? Flat as can be. I wish I could say, do this, do that. There's no play here. When there's no play, you don't make something out of nothing. Some people do. Some people will put on what's called strangles. They'll say, if you're not going to move out of these ranges, I'll write options way out and collect the premium. If it works, great. When markets are real tight and going sideways, some people will buy the opposite. They'll buy a put and a call, looking for the market to explode out. There's many option strategies that you can do. I have never been a successful option trader. I watched options traded in my firm, and I had a very big discount firm. And option business was huge in it. I mean, over the top. I would say most option traders don't make money. It's a cheap way to take a shot, and if you get occasionally lucky, that's what it's about. So when I say make money, I didn't say that their account didn't end up ahead. Most option trades don't work, but the ones that do are son of a guns. That's the right phrasing, I think, of it. Higher high, lower low. Then we come over to the nat gas, and I look at how the market is here. I see a lot of resistance. I think the pros, if you can get away from being oversold, want to sell this market. I don't see anything here that is friendly on that particular chart. So as I said, this is all about right now two things. Number one, restraining when you don't have a trend. Number two, in most markets, not selling into an oversold condition. Number three is the Bollinger Bands are being hit, learning to take advantage of them in massive fashion. I want to teach you that. I want you to do it on your own. Right at the end of this now, I'm going to run an ad on it that tells you about it. And if you go to our website, iraepstein.com, under the word education, the courses are there. They're going to change the way you look at a chart. If not, I'll be shocked. Most people tell me, yes, this has been something that I didn't see before, and it's really changing things. Click up here. It's that simple. That'll take you to the area. iraepstein.com, education. Decide for yourself. Take a look at all the stuff that I talk about with it and make your decision. You take care. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein, on the road to your education.